Hello,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning.
Professor also is there. Yeah. Good
Hello,
morning, Professor.
Susanna. How
Hello,
are you
good
doing?
morning.
Very good, very good, very good, Susanna. So how are things going on, Susanna, at your end? Everything is going well?
Yeah. So, yeah, everything is going well. As always, have a lot of work.
Yeah.
But now I told you I have the permanent position as
Yeah, that's very good news. Yeah.
as full
Yeah.
professor. So this is good since the 1st of September.
That's very
And
good.
yes, it's good for the family, for everything.
Yeah. That's very important
Yeah.
because then you are sort of settled there. It's extremely nice, you know. That's a very good news.
Yeah, so now for sure I have also administrative responsibilities and these kind of things, but it's normal.
Very excellent.
Yeah. And you now?
I have completed my tenure as the Vice Chancellor, as the head of the institution.
Yeah.
Now I'm an emeritus professor and the director of a few schools, continue here. Then Government of India gave me a new position as the chairman of the park. Government of Kerala is setting up a science park.
Oh, this is good.
I'm the chairman of the science park of Government of Kerala.
Wow.
We have now 10 companies, all areas, not only polymer, electric vehicle, all areas, everything. We are setting up a big science park in the capital of Kerala. That responsibility is also with me. So managing, you know, everything quite,
Yeah.
okay, manner. Yes, Anne is still with the medical school. She has 1 more year to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's she's in 1 year she will
next year
okay.
she's heading the school now. Next year she will retire.
Oh, okay.
How are your children doing? They're
Good.
fine?
Yeah, so Laurent just go with them to the park.
Right.
Yeah, because it's Saturday, and now here they have 2 weeks holidays.
Yeah. Oh, that's very
2 weeks. Yeah. So, but they see they are fine. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
How's Laura doing? Laura is fine?
Yeah, he's also good. Everything is doing
very
well.
good, very good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, Martin is actually going to join as a postdoc. He was in a company for some time, then he left the company.
I know that he was in a company in Italy.
He left the company because it was not very, satisfying for him, the job. So he's going to join as a postdoc somewhere. He's in Montpellier.
Oh, in Montpellier.
Yeah.
So he's in France in this moment.
No, he's in France right now. He is actually with the University of he's in Metz. He's in Metz now, working with a professor. He's likely to join Montpellier.
Okay, with who you know?
I know the name.
David Laurent?
No, David is actually what's the name of the Montpellier professor? Bruno, Professor Bruno. He's you know him, Professor Bruno. He's a polymer man.
Yeah.
He's Bruno. Professor Bruno. He's very active in I think one of the big names in fluorinated polymers. Teflon. He's going to join a project on recycling.
Yeah.
Polymer recycling with the Bruno. Yes, the Bruno. So he might he has to get the work permit and all. He's right now in University of somewhere in Metz, University of Nancy, Metz. The professor working with the professor now for a short while.
This is good.
Yeah. But ultimately, he wants to come back to Kerala. His interest is more to be in Kerala.
I think so.
As a scientist, he wants to come back. He doesn't want to stay longer.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think that Martin he always shows some that he would like to return to Kerala.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
and this is good.
My daughter finished her medicine. He is now working for, all the doctors in India now, they have to work for 1 year in a village. So this is compulsory by the government.
Okay.
He's actually in the northeast of India in a village doctor.
Okay.
He has to be there for 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah. Then she wants to specialize in gynecology. Yeah. She has to write the entrance examination and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also traveling actually. I was couple of months, I was in France, and I was in China, in Egypt. Then Anne and I went to Malaysia. So I'm also traveling quite a lot. Since relatively free, I do a lot of travel actually.
Yeah.
Next month, I'm going to China for the International Rubber Conference.
Oh, okay.
Short while.
Yeah.
And still, I have a group in the manage my group. Sometime in Trivandrum to September Park, Government of Kerala. Basically, translation.
Yeah.
Translate the laboratory findings in startups, industry, all areas, polymer, electrical, materials, activity, many people. Anyway, we're doing well. Please visit us sometime. This was a great opportunity because you were very tied up. Otherwise, this program you could have come and spend some time, but you were very tied up. Maybe next time we can think of.
Yeah.
And Hari is my brilliant young faculty member. I recruited many young faculties actually. Hari is my young faculty member. He's my recruiter recently when I was. So he's doing well, and many young faculty members we have now. To continue the work in polymer.
Yeah.
We have many young faculty members.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah. Now we are still waiting for, I think that I told you when you come that maybe there will be a new building for the part of natural polymers and marine biomimetics.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I think that so they have the money, but the problem now it's a political choice between two cities.
Cities, yeah. Where to go, right?
Yes, where put the building. So but for us it's terrible because it's like we want to do the things. I want to ask for projects to some big equipments and etc. But I can't because if I don't have the building, I can't ask for the equipment.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, very important.
So this is quite challenging, but but it's always the decision to do science. It's not depend only from us. It's
exactly. It's all political. Where to go? Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. You still have to go to the two campuses, right?
Yeah. But now the university, they are putting like a minibus because there are more and more professors and administratives and the students that need to go in the both campus. So now from November, they are doing a test to see if there are a lot of people or not. So once per week, and in December twice per week. And this is good for me because I'm going twice per week. So because it's going alone with the car 1 hour and 10 to go there and 1 hour 10 to come again, it's really very tired. So if we have this minibus, I think it will be good. But yes, I still in the two campus. Yeah.
That's it. So Martin's papers are coming up, right? All these papers are coming up, right?
Actually, there are already 1 year that it's with my colleague. It's terrible, you know, because they're Sylvie and I, we prepared
right?
everything, but now it's with Terry.
Ah,
And there are a part that I don't know, I need to that it's checked by him. So
yeah.
we are waiting. Sylvie discussed with Terry last week
Yeah.
to see, and he is always telling us, "Oh, in 1 week, in 2 weeks," but it's.
Right, yeah.
I know. I told him that it's important for Martin that he
because
needs this because it's three articles.
for
So
him it's good, if he come back,
yeah.
apply for a faculty
I
position.
agree.
They
I
always
agree. But
support
I
him.
can't.
Very nice.
I can't do nothing now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yes, I always remember,
Yes,
Thierry, that we need to publish these 3 papers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but
He also,
I think that one of them this year, I think that we can publish this year.
very good. Yeah.
So yeah. Now Terry is taking some days of holidays, but then when he's come back, I will discuss with him again, because even for me and Sylvie, it's also important. So, but most important, it's Martin for sure.
Yeah, because his faculty position and all, he wants to come back to India. Get a faculty position.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a time to start, right, Hari?
Yeah.
We should start now, Hari. Hari?
Yeah, Professor, we can start if you.
Sorry for that. Yeah.
Then
Thank
we
you.
can start.
Perfect. Yeah. Please.
It's good. Can you see the screen?
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, very good. Well done.
Okay. So good morning to everyone, and thank you to be here. This last lecture that we have together. And today, so we will discuss about bio-inspired materials. First, I will give you some general aspects, some definitions, and then I will describe, because as I told you, so we in my group, we are doing more marine biomimetics or marine bio-inspired materials. So I will be focused more in marine. And then I will show you an example of bio-inspired materials that we have developing in the group. And in the next slide, I show you the way that now I'm moving to do bio-inspired materials. So my vision about it, okay? So okay, so this is, and then, so this today it's our last lectures about bio-inspired materials, and then you will have, I think, a lecture about nutritional applications of nanomaterials. So here I have again this slide. I start the course with this slide, and I would like to finish the last with this slide, because this is the main thing that is the main message that I would like to give you about this bio-inspired, bio-based and bio-inspired materials. And again, I would like to tell you that yeah, we can be inspired by the biological materials, and we can also explore some of their biopolymers, as we have discussing during this week. And so why should we be inspired by these materials, by these biological materials? Because of the actually nature, she did it very well by using enzymatic process. The biological materials also have the regenerative capacity that we are looking for different kind of materials. The living time of the materials that we can have, and other kind of properties and characteristics of the biological materials. So for instance, I have here this image that show you so a bio-inspired architectural and architectural biological materials. So this is the wood. So we were also already talk about cellulose, the transparent wood, what we can do with cellulose and wood. And here I have this image, I found it in a book, that it's really very funny because show you, so the biological material in the center, so it's wood, and then in the right side you have this multi-scale structure of the wood, and you see in the left side you have a building that it was inspired by this so that it's made with using woods, and it's inspired, as you can see in the right side, inspired by this architecture. Okay, so this is a point how we can be inspired by the biological materials. And in the next slide I have this image that I have done with some designers. This is to summarize a little bit what we are doing in our group as a researcher with marine organisms. And what I would like the message with this image is that, so actually we need to observe, to understand, because you can have a lot of great biodiversity of kind of materials. So here I have the two main biopolymers that we can find in the exoskeleton and endoskeleton of marine organisms, so that represent collagen and chitin. So as you can see, we have a very big biodiversity, and that we need to observe, and then to compare the different structures. So we also have different kind of structures in the different scales of these biological materials. But what is really very important and very interesting, as we also already discussed, it's that nature actually we have very simple building blocks to do this to do these different structures, and that this biodiversity it's using with. So actually, as I put here in this sentence, is simple building blocks to do complex materials with functions, different functions. Okay, so for instance, with the fish, or with the scales of fish, we have only collagen and some minerals, hydroxyapatite, for instance, and some small non-collagenous proteins to do the linkage between the different the fibers of collagen. And with the exoskeleton of crustacea or the endoskeleton of molluscus, what we have, it's chitin alone, for instance, with the squid pen, as I told you, or we have chitin and mineral only in the exoskeleton. So let's be inspired and let's try to do materials like nature, only with few compounds, a very simple compounds, to do these complex materials. So this is the message that I would like to give you in the beginning of this lecture. And now, so let's see some definitions of bioinspiration, biomimicry or biomimetics, it's the same, and bionics. So actually, during long time, and still have there are some confusion between bioinspiration and biomimicry, and they are completely different, the definitions. Okay, so bioinspiration, it's in the large term of the sense. So actually, is just we observe nature. And I will show you how we will do it, or we must do it in the next slide. So, but it's we observed a biological material or a system, because sometimes it's also important to look at a system to develop materials, devices, and structures, and also systems. So here in the bioinspiration, you just observe And then, okay, you have got an inspiration to develop materials, okay? Then we will see some examples. But biomimicry, actually, it's something more deeper. So this means to do biomimicry, you need to use a multidisciplinary or an interdisciplinary or even transversal disciplinary approach, taking nature as a model in order to meet the challenge of sustainable development, okay? So this is the most difference between the bio-inspiration. Here, we need really to do, to take in account, so the biological model, but also the way that we will develop our material. Because, you know, there are some materials that they are bio-inspired, but they are not bio-based, they are not prepared using green chemistry, so they are not sustainable, okay? And to do biomimicry, so in this case, we need that everything that we do regarding this new material that we are preparing, or a system, or so actually it needs to take in account, you know, for the green chemistry or the sustainable chemistry, we need to take in account the social aspect, environmental and economic. And for the biomimicry, we need to take it in account, okay? So the best thing is to do a material, take in account it, and doing green chemistry, that it's bio-based, so it's sustainable, a material that it's sustainable, okay? So it's not only to be inspired by something and do with a synthetic polymer, or you see what I mean? So for the biomimicry, yes, you need to transfer, so so that everything that nature is doing for a solution for a problematic that we have today in our society, but to take in all these aspects in account, okay? And the bionics, actually, this is the word that it's maybe that you know better. So this here, it's a technical discipline which seeks to reproduce, improve, or replace a biological function. So we have bionic hands, bionic foods, bionic, so that you know, so I have this image here with this elephant to give you an example, okay? So this is really different definitions, and yeah, like I told you, for instance, for biological, the biopolymers, that now we, for the articles when we are publishing, that we need to characterize well our biopolymer, to give the source, even the year or the moment that we take this capture or take the biopolymer. So here it's the same thing, okay? We need to give all the information, and it's good if we can do the good definitions of this kind of approaches, okay? But if we reflect well on it, we see that the bioinspiration or biomimicry, man, it's doing it since we know the humanity, okay? So we are always trying to mimic the biological systems, okay? But it's true that now, because of the climate change and so energy transition, it's true that now we are more and more using these terms in terms to understand it well and to do better things. Okay, so biomimicry is inspired by nature on three different levels. So these three levels are the shape. So mimic the shape of an element of nature is the most common imitation that we do. So as you can see here, in this image, so we try to mimic in architecture, for instance. There are a lot of, so for design, there are a lot of things like this, but we also need to, for instance, to think the shape, but also to think about the function of and the properties of the biological materials, for instance. This is also important. The other thing is the process. So, to do the sustainable chemistry. So in the animal and plant world, materials are manufactured or biosynthesized at ambient temperature and pressure, and without use toxic products. But even in this point, as I told you, and we will see it later in the presentation, we are also some living organisms that they live and biosynthesized biological materials in extreme conditions. So this is ambient temperature or pressure, but it depends where is the organism. Okay, so the shape, the process, and the ecosystem. So what this means is mimicking actually the organization of the living organisms, and how they interact, how they communicate between them. And because they need all the things to survive and for the evolution during the time. And this is also very important. So there are some organisms that live like in synergy between others, between plants and the animals. So, and we can also be, so this is more for a sociology point of view, but there are also researchers in these domains that they are inspired by the way that the animals, they can communicate or organize their life in synergy or together with others. Okay. So to do biomimetism or biomimicry, how to do it? How can we do it? So actually, in my case, what I like sometimes to do is that I like observe nature, and in my case, so the three main research that we do, taking account by inspiration, starting by I was observing something and I had the question, and then I was looking in literature how nature do and try to do it then in laboratory. But usually if because for instance here we have a master degree that it's in bio-inspired materials, and the way that we learn to our students how to do biomimicry, actually it's in the order that I have here in this schema. So biomimicry and bioinspiration, or if we talk really about biomimicry, actually it exists, or the sense is to help us to solve some current problems or issues that we have in the way that with the present materials that we have, the way we do these materials, if we talk for sure about chemistry and materials. Okay, so we have this problem, and so then we identify the first thing to do is to identify a problem. Okay, I have this problem, I need to identify this problem, and then is to transpose the problematic to the natural sector. So it's to see in nature if there are some solutions to that to give that nature can give us. Okay, so once we identified the biological model, so then we need to observe this biological model. And why we need to observe it? To understand how nature do it, and then to try to select a technical solutions to help us to solve our problem. Okay, and then so after to understand, we take advantage of the natural solution. We try to do it in the lab, and then we try to solve the problem, okay? So these are the different steps. So we have 6 main steps that can help us to develop a material or a solution for a problem, taking into account the biological models, okay? So here I have some, this image. So I don't know if you, so we have in the top the biological model, and then I put you the solution that it were found. So, and you see here, it's more bio-inspired because it's not really biomimicry, okay? Because all the solution that we found to do it, it's not completely for sustainable economy or sustainable that group all sociology, economic and environmental, okay? So for me, but this is my point of view, it's more bio-inspiration. So I have the solution here. So for instance, the Velcro, so that we used a lot, it's a kind of adhesive. So it was inspired by a fruit that have a system. So it's the way that they have to proliferate, and they have a system that it can adhere to the surfaces, and in this way the plant can be proliferate a lot. And the other, it's the lotus. So this, I think that you know, it's one of the most known bio-inspired technology that it's known. So it's the self-cleaning for the windows. So as you can see in the picture in the bottom part. Then we also have some engineers that they were in Japan, that they were inspired by to do the aerodynamic train. They were inspired by the kingfisher birth. And the last one that I have, it's, you know, the shark, it's moving very well and very faster in the water. So there are also some engineers and researchers that were inspired by the skin of the shark to do the more and more performer swimsuits. So these are some very known bio-inspired products or materials that were inspired by natural or biological models. So now let's move a little bit more for the marine bio-inspiration or marine biomimicry. And the marine biomimicry, it's one of, for me again, and it's because of this that I try to work on it. For me, it's one that offers the most potential. And why? Because over the 3.8 billion years of species evolution in our planet, we have spent 3 billions in water. So this means that the living organisms that are in water, say they developed different strategies to survive in very hard conditions. So the marine organisms have developed extremely sophisticated strategies to survive in the ocean environment. So they try to be efficient in the use of energy and also in matter. So what is also fantastic, and for us it's very important, is the quantity of matter that we need to do a material, and the space for sure. So we have a lot of opportunities that can give by marine biodiversity. And we have, for instance, here in this image, we can have, and then I will give you more details about it. But you can see here, it's just some few living organisms and the systems that we can be inspired to do materials. So the opportunities offered by marine biodiversity. So I divided this in two. So the biodiversity, but also the diversity of marine habitats. So actually we can also be inspired by it. So in this image here, I have, for instance, the different divisions, or yes, divisions that we can do in the marine ecosystems. So we have the domain, the benthic domain. So it's in orange color, you see. So it's the part that it's in contact with the land and the water. So it's the pelagic domain. And so what is interesting is that in the benthic domain, so it's the part where we can find more the biodiversity in terms of living organisms. Is there where we can find more kind of different organisms. And then in the pelagic domain, we have, for instance, it's the ocean waters. We have also, for sure, a lot of living organisms that we can be inspired, but less than in the benthic domain. So this is really, if you like to observe this when you are in the beach, for instance, you can be inspired and you can observe all these environments. So what is interesting is that with the marine organisms have developed different strategies because for sure they live in these different ecosystems. And for instance, we can see some living organisms that they can flotate, and others that they are swimmers. And there are others that I will show you that they live in the hydrothermal vents. And for instance, it's in the deep ocean, and they live really in extreme conditions. So regarding the marine organisms, we have a lot of kind of flora and fauna that we can be inspired. And I put here a scale, as you can see. So we have very small organisms that can have 10 nanometers, the virus, bacteria, and we can also be inspired by microalgae, the plankton, mollusks, crustaceans, but we can also be inspired by some big fish. And so this is just to show you the scale of all this biodiversity and the living organisms that we can be inspired. So why are we interested by the question by the marine by inspiration, or marine biomimicry, or marine organisms? Because if we look well, the constraints that are imposed to the marine environment, to this marine biodiversity, are those that are imposed to the sector of the industrial sector, and to the blue economy that we saw yesterday, what is about blue economy and blue biotechnology. So, for instance, the marine organisms, they need, for sure, to breathe, and they breathe differently. So they need to feed, so they need to capture the dissolved oxygen and filter nutrients. So I know also some researchers that work with, they are inspired by some fish the way that they filter the water, or, you know, so this is very important. So some of you told me about the water treatment. So there are a lot of works that are being developed using being inspired by the way that some organisms, they filter water in the ocean. So as I told you, so the way that they move, it's also important. So there are some ones that they are dive, the others swimming. Also the way that they are an anchor, or they are some adhesion of the living organisms to the rock or to the other animals. You know, there are some animals that are like parasites for the others to protect. So they need to be protected from the UV radiation. They also need to be protected by bacteria. So when we talk about the exopolysaccharides, for instance, so imagine that if they have the bacteria with this biofilm, so it's really very complicated. So they need to protect from this, but also because of some other kind of issues, and to communicate, as I told you. So this is also there are also some works about it, how they communicate intra and inter species, and how is their behavior between the different species, and how they live together. And as I told you, if we look it well, so this is what can give solutions for some problems that we have. So, for instance, salt corrosion, dissolved oxygen and nutrients. So how to protect us from the UV radiation, fooling by microorganisms and shellfish. So, you know, these are really, as I will show you here in this slide. So this is really converging between, so this is really a conversion between the biological world and the industrial world. So this justifies the bioinspiration or the biomimicry, because yeah, we need, as I told you, some solutions for filtration, circulation of the fluids, to move the adhesion or anti-adhesion, anti-corrosion, communication, protection, etc. So you can see this is just a small list of things that we can be inspired by nature, and then we can do materials with it. So I told you about the extreme biomimics, and this is also something that we are working in our group about the extreme biomimicry. Actually, we have already some of the crustacea that we can, so that some colleagues from IFREMER, they capture for us with these drones, you see. So, and you see, so this is 2 pictures of the hydrothermal vents. So where the temperature it's around 80 degrees and 60 degrees. And there are life there, so, and animals, so fauna and flora, that they are able to live there. So I think even with this the situation of the climate change, so that we need to think about materials that will be adaptable to this because maybe to the climate change, so other kind of temperatures and conditions. So I think that, in my opinion, that we can be inspired by these living organisms that are doing materials in these conditions or in these extreme conditions, and we can be inspired to do new materials and adaptive materials. So here I put just some examples. So of this, so it's what we call extremophiles organisms, and so they can live to the extreme. temperatures, pH, and also salinity conditions, as you can see here in this schema. And so I think that we can really be inspired by it. And here it's just a schema of this part in the oceans. And you see what is amazing is that close to the vents, you have all this biodiversity. You can see you have crustacea, you have tube worms, you have some molluscus, and then just some meters, then the biodiversity is reducing, so you have the less and less biodiversity. So yeah, and I have just some images, very nice images about these animals that that live in these conditions. So yeah, what we are trying to see, it's the difference of the structure and the chitin that we can, we have some crabs and shrimps, and we are trying to study the composition of this animal, the animal now, or the exoskeleton, and the structure of the exoskeleton of these animals that live in these conditions. So here it's just to show you that bioinspiration or the biomimicry, it's not only the blah blah blah. So only no, there are I identified like 13 Nobel Prizes that were inspired by marine organisms. And for instance, until today, there are 25,000 molecules that were extracted from living organisms, marine living organisms, and they are used as antibiotics, antiviral, antifungal, and anti-cancer products. And here just some new discoveries that were inspired by living organisms or marine living organisms. So I have two to do energy. So the movement, so for the renewable technology or renewable energy. So the movement of the wolf, it was inspired to, you see the design, it's different. It's like the design of the living organism here, you can see. And then also to create electricity. So there are some engineers and researchers that were inspired by the movement of the fish when they are swimming. And then regarding the materials, so, you know, there are also some researchers, I think. Yes, I give you if you saw the videos that I sent you yesterday, one video, it's about this glue. So it's a bio-inspired glue for human organs, for medicine, that it's inspired by this marine worm that it's secreting protein, and it's just it's for the adhesion of so it's do his house with this kind of adhesive. Okay. And now let's move for one of the works that we have done in our group. So about bioinspiration. Actually, this work, now we start working on it, I think now maybe 8 years ago. So in the beginning, it was bio-inspired, and I will show you about this bio-inspiration. And now we have also a method that I would like to say that it's most biomimicry. Okay, so the question is how you know, if you know, how we can be inspired by the coral reef and can help you to design innovative materials to fight the UV radiation. So actually, I was inspired, and it was when I was looking fish. I was thinking how the fish, they protect themselves from the UV radiation. And these fish you see in the coral reef, that they live in shallow waters. So this means that the sun can go inside of the water, and I was asking how they protect themselves. So I was looking in the literature, and I understand that the coral reef fish actually they have the capacity to protect themselves because there are some molecules that they have in their eyes and also in their mucus. These molecules, they call mycosporins-like amino acids, and they are linked to proteins and polysaccharides. So, you know, as I told yesterday, look to the, actually, I was not the first one to see these molecules, for sure. So there are some biologists and then even chemists that they saw these molecules, so they are trying to extract these molecules and use these molecules in some sunscreens. So what was the thing that for my group, it was the first thing that it was done? You see, as I told yesterday, so let's look for these living organisms, but with the eyes of material scientists. So what I saw this fish. So these molecules are in the mucus of the fish. So the mucus is an hydrogel. So what I was thinking, it was to use these molecules as a material in a hydrogel or in films or, you know, or in contact lenses like a material. And I also see that these molecules in this mucus of fish and in the eyes, they are linked to proteins and oligosaccharides. So again, proteins and oligosaccharides, we chemists, we know how to put together, how to graph these molecules to polymer or biopolymers. So it was the first work that I did, that I will explain you how I did it. But what is interesting also here, it's for sure we are not killing fish to extract these molecules. Actually, the fish, it's like us. We don't have the way to protect us really from the UV radiation. So we put some sunscreens or we put some clothes, and in this way we protect ourselves. So the fish, what he do is that they eat the algae because the algae, they biosynthesize the mycosporins-like amino acids. So they eat the algae, and then we don't know really the mechanism, but these molecules, they are in their mucus, okay? So, and it was on this that I was inspired to do this material. So this, but first, before to show you the results, so let's see what are mycosporins-like amino acids. So actually we have two families of mycosporins-like amino acids, the mycosporins and the mycosporins-like amino acids. We know now around 40 molecules, because there are new molecules that we are founding. And the interesting thing for us as chemists, it's look for this molecule. So we have, so what is also interesting is that they absorb the mycosporins-like amino acids, they absorb on the UVA, and the mycosporins on the UVB. So this means that we can cover all the range of UV protection, A and B. And so what is interesting is that some of them, they have antioxidant activity, and they can absorb this UV. And for us chemists, what is important is, as you can see, we have an OH group and we have also a carboxylic group that we can modify, or we can graft this molecule to other molecules. And the first work that we did, it was using chitosan. So, but we were not the first ones to think about these molecules for the like bio-inspired for as suns or for UV protection. So in King College of London, there are also some researchers working and doing really like fish. So working in some pills that has these molecules and take like this. So like a pill. So, but for the moment they tried to do it with the mouse, and it's not working. So maybe it's because the molecule it's degraded in our stomach. So I know that they are trying to do like a coating to protect the molecule in our stomach. But so let's see if they found other solution also, because it will be very interesting. And for sure, in our case, it was a journalist in Australia that tried to do a cartoon about our research. And what we are trying to do is so to be inspired by the mucus of fish and do some. We are not doing for sure the sunscreens, but we are doing products. We are working with a cosmetic company on this, and then we do some products, and they are using or trying to using in their formulations. So why is this important? Because, you know, for the sunscreens or the UV filters, we use a lot of UVB that are toxic and can react with other kind of products that we have in our skin, and can be toxic for us. And the other problem is the nanoparticles that we can find in the ocean, and it's one of the cause of the coral bleaching. So the idea that we have the first idea, it was to graft these molecules, and as I told you, so they have a carboxylic group, so we can graft it to the amino groups of the chitosan. So, and it was the first work we were able. So as you can see here, so in the UVV, it's absorbing. So this is the transmittance, but we can think about the absorbance, and we can see that it's absorbing, and it's transparent in the UV visible. So we were able to do films that has UV, that because one of the first question, it was, okay, after grafted, it's still absorbing or not. We were able to show that yes, the molecules, they are still absorbing in the UV. And then as we wanted to use it for human health, so we also did some toxicity tests, and we show that they are not cytotoxic. And here I have now the other different works that we have been developed with in our group. So the bioinspiration, it was what I show you until now. So the bioinspiration here in the extraction of mycosporin. So now, as here in our coast, we have a lot of red algae that has mycosporins like amino acids. What we are trying to do is to extract ourselves these molecules, so these mycosporins like amino acids. The problem it's not extraction, but it's the quantity that are in the algae. It's very few. And the other problem is the purification, because the chromatography, to do some chromatography separation, it's really very expensive. So what we are trying to do is, okay, we extract from the algae, and then we are trying to use the extracts, unpurified extracts, not the pure molecules. And so with the company, the cosmetic company, we I just put here a summarize, but just to show you that we are trying to doing some cosmetics using only bio-based materials. So and the less possible materials to use the less components possible in the formulation. So this is another research, but it's in this research line, it's like the continuation of the first work that we did with chitosan. So now we are trying to use other oligosaccharides and polysaccharides and proteins. And so in I told you, so here in the left side, what I would like to show you is that I told you that now we are doing biomimicry using these molecules. So how? So this is a collaboration with some colleagues in the University of Toulouse, and they are specialized on the glucosylation of some molecules. So they used first polyphenols. So they are able to put some glucose, so the monomers in some molecules. So do glucosylation like in nature. And when I saw this work, and with a postdoc that was working before with them, and I discussed with the postdoc about the possibility to glucosylate this mycosporin. She told me, oh, I know a group in Toulouse that they have a family of enzymes that are able to glucosylate polyphenol. Maybe we can try with the mycosporins. And we tried, and we were able to do it. So we are able now, so we have a patent about it, because we are really mimicking the nature, and we can have structures that are very similar to those that we can find in the mucus of fish. So with some oligosaccharides. So we were able to do small chains of glucose. So we have mycosporins with 2 or 3 monosaccharides, and then they have, in the same family of enzymes, they have some enzymes that are able to polymerize. So first we did the glucosylation, and then we polymerize, and now we have very big polymers with the extremity of the chain with these UV absorbing molecules. And now we can also do materials with this product. So we are really very happy with this. But another point that we have, it's the photodegradation, and it was the aim of the Martin thesis. So we were also we were asking, what about the photodegradation of these materials? So Martin worked with purified molecules, and the objective it was to see, okay, if we put these molecules, free molecules, in a simulator of simulating the UV radiation in different kind of waters, so what happens to these molecules? And we were able to see that these molecules, they are quite stable, even with UV radiation. And what we also observed is that there are some modification of some molecules, but actually, as we work with mycosporins like amino acids, they were transformed in very more simple molecules, but they still absorbing the UV radiation. And the other thing that was very interesting that we see, it was that, for instance, the kinetic of the degradation of these molecules was faster for the river water. And this is normal because we have a lot of organic matter in the river waters, and for sure in this case they degrade more rapidly than in pure water or in salt water or in ocean water. Okay, so I show you everything about, or one example of bio inspiration and biomimicry. that we are working in our group. And now, oh yes, so this is just, let me see, okay. So this is just some publications that we have done and the importance of this work in also in the press about this work. And last year with this, so this in the photo is Elodie, it's a PhD student. She's defending now in December. So actually, it's we did a patent, as I told you, about this glucosylation of the mycosporins do the really like nature do. And we win the Bio-Inspired Innovation Award in Paris last year. So it's called the Bio-Mimi Challenge. And yeah, we were very proud of this prize. And just to show you also that sometimes when you have an idea or yeah, try to go through and to develop it, because sometimes it's not only our research, it's really very important to do, and we can find some solutions for some current problems. And my last slide, then I finish and we can discuss again for sure. So my last slide is how now in the group I'm trying to work with my students about the bioinspiration and biomimicry. So in my point of view, there is a gap in the current trust towards the bioinspiration or biomimetic materials. And this gap is, again, in my point of view, okay, it's regarding, it's conceptual. So actually, for me, there is an absence of the evolutionary perspective on multifunctional biological materials. So today, and even the way that I'm working in the lab today, is this one that I put here for you. So we have a biological model. You know, I work a lot with chitin, as I told you in these days. And actually, we have a model, so a crab, a shrimp, a lobster, and we see the composition of the exoskeleton. We study the structure, property, a function of this exoskeleton, and then we think about materials, to do materials, and we developed for some applications, okay? But for me, we should to move to something different. So to have this evolutionary perspective. So is to take in account actually the evolution of the biological material in the time. And to take in account not only a model, a species, because as you know, in different publications that we have, it's all just talk about one species or two. But why not to see to the global, to this these different species of the same of the crustacea, for instance, and to see how the animal adapt in the environment when he lives or when he's and to try to do some comparisons about the structure, composition, and try to do materials that can be adaptable and that can be more efficient for the application that we want. So it's because of this that I have here that compare a shared function among different taxa. It's really very important, and to consider the environmental constraints where they adapt. So these two things, for me, I think that they are very important and that we should take in account for the future materials that we are developing. So this is the last message that I would like to tell you during this week. And now, yeah, I finished. So if you have some questions or if you like to discuss, just let me know. Okay.
Thank you, Professor. Now the floor is open for discussion. If there is any question, kindly ask in the chat box. Or you can directly contact or ask in the audio also.
Yeah, and again, just I told you in the other days, you can contact me anytime, okay? You know, for us teachers, the most important thing is that that we transfer some of our knowledge to you, because our aim is to to help you to develop the better materials and to for a sustainable future. This is what we are missing, and it's you that will do it. I'm very old now to do. It's weekend, it's Saturday. You are tired for all the week missing me.
I think there are no questions. I think they understood everything.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I said, you know what happened, you know, I mean, Susanna, we are having holidays till Wednesday. So
okay,
all
okay.
students must have gone for holidays.
Yeah. Our students, it's next week.
Yeah,
The
this
two
is
next weeks. Yeah.
it's a big celebration in India.
Yeah. No,
That's
but I
why-
understand. But
Yeah,
they have the videos, no? That will be
Yeah,
available.
definitely.
Yeah, and you can contact me anytime. You can send
Yeah,
me an email. Maybe I can take some time to answer, and if I don't answer, please insist. But if you need something, I will what I can, and what I know I
Sure.
can.
Yeah. Thank you, Susanna. I mean, Hari will collect all the questions. Hari, if they have questions, definitely we can send you Susanna, and she will be able to
Yeah, for
interact
sure.
with them,
Yes.
give some, do that. Because many students have gone out today.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
We have one more talk. I mean, Srirak by Srirak.
Yeah.
Hari.
Yes, Professor. Dr. Sriyak is available here. He has given.
Oh, hello,
Hi.
Susanna. Srirak is one of my important partners.
Yeah, I know.
He's running a big mega business, traveling across the globe. What is the turnover of your company, Srirak?
Must be around 10 million.
10 million turnover. Basically,
Okay.
bioproducts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He also supports us. And next time, you know, Srirak, when you go to France, you can visit Susanna.
Yeah, for sure. It will be a very pleasure.
He has 3 PhDs, basically a PhD in organic chemistry. Then he has done PhD from Australia and from Poland.
Okay.
So
You can come, and we can invite you to do a seminar if you like.
Yeah. Do that, Srirak. When you travel to Europe, it would be nice. Visit University of Po and interact with Susanna's group. She has a big research group, marine polymers. It'd be nice.
I
Yeah.
was in France last month in Montpellier.
Mobility,
Montpellier.
yes.
Yes.
Nice city.
Right.
Yeah, very nice city.
Great to meet you, Process.
Yeah, thank you.
So
So
thank you, Susanna, for your excellent talk, and we are looking forward to having you again. Thank you so
For
much.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. In India.
In India, next time
Yes,
offline.
I really would like. Yeah.
Offline,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Professor, then shall we start the next
please
talk by
start, please
Dr.
start.
Sridhar?
Please
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
So now
good time.
I
Some of this
invite
very close.
Dr. Sriraj for his talk on nutraceutical applications of nanomaterials.
Thank you, Dr. Harishan. Let me share my screen.
There is one comment in the chat box for Professor Susanna.
I don't know whether Susanna will be able to answer
Sorry?
now or yeah, there is. Hari, you can tell that comment.
Yeah. Professor, there is one comment for you in the chat box.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you to listen me for during these days. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sridhar sir, are you able to share the screen?
Siraj, you can start. Siraj, you can start.
Professor, actually, Professor Susanna has already shared one question paper with me. So, shall I conduct the question paper, examination on behalf of her?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
we can give
Yeah.
some time for the students to study the portions, and on 24th or something, we can conduct an online test.
Yeah. That'd be very nice.
Is it
Please
okay
do.
for you, right?
Please do.
Okay. And also, I have shared feedback forms to the students. I request all to please share the feedback forms. It will be a benefit for us where we can improve the quality of the course next time.
Perfect. Perfect. ഞാൻ അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പ്രശ്നമുണ്ടോ?
ഉണ്ട് സാർ ഉണ്ട് ലോഗൗട്ട് ആയി പോയി.
അദ്ദേഹത്തെ വിളിച്ചേ.
Yeah, he is in contact. He will contact.
And from my side, do you need something more or it's okay?
It's okay, Professor. We can.
No, regarding the evaluation and the everything, it's okay?
I think you have given the answer key also. Then we can manage by ourselves. No problem, Professor.
Okay, but
I
if you need
but-
something, let me know, okay?
Yeah.
You can send me a message and we can discuss about it.
But I will share you the answer sheets with you. It will be better that I will evaluate, but after evaluation, I will send the answer sheet with you.
I did like this because it's easier to correct, because
Yeah.
otherwise it will be very complicated.
Yes. But still, we can give the students 1 day time. We can set some timer,
Yeah, for sure.
and they can return the answer key within that time.
Yeah.
Sriraj sir, can you connect now?
Sorry, something went wrong. Let me pull my screen. So, very good afternoon. I hope my screen is on. So thank you very much for inviting me for this lecture series. My topic is nanotechnology in nutraceuticals. So I just modified into influence of nanotechnology in nutraceutical. So from research to commercialization. So you must have been already listening about the academic research, what's happening in the nanotechnology area. So I would like to emphasize from the bench to the commercialization, what is happening when it is going into a commercial phase, and emphasize into nutraceuticals and food supplements, which is a parallel industry or parallel commercialized version of pharmaceutical industry. After the COVID, we are known to this industry much more because preventive care is becoming more and more relevant for humanity. With this, let me begin this. So I don't want to emphasize more on nanotechnology because you are sitting in the world of nanotechnology with Professor Sabu Thomas. So, but I would like to emphasize a little more on two nutraceuticals. So the nutraceuticals, as the name suggests, it is something related to the pharmaceuticals. So maybe it is the developments in the future food science. So as you know, the food is, we are consuming food more, and for the survival, food is necessary also. So food has to be a medicinal touch. That's the core of this industry. So when I'm go to deeply into the science, I can explain more. So I'm just outlining my topic, nutraceutical and concept and classification of nutraceuticals and the market size, because when we are venturing into a different domain, we should also understand what is the capital, what is the size of this industry, and what is the influence of nanochemistry in nutraceutical, nanotechnological preparation of nutraceutical, technology aspect, research commercialization, and then the future perspective. So what is nanotechnology? I'm not going in detail, but in a nutraceutical point of view or in a food supplement point of view, a particle size ranging from 1 to 100 nanometer is considered to be nano. So even EFSA, like we have the FSSI, food safety standards, the European Union is having EFSA, European Food Safety Association, and also US FDA. So each category have their own definition on nano. So EFSA is considered anything below 100 nanometer as a novel food category. So if you have any material in the food supplement region, you must register in a novel food category. So there is a certain regulatory requirement if you go into that size. But in US, there are no much regulation. So US is more welcoming for the nanomaterial, maybe having known for its benefit. EFSA having no bad feeling about nano, but still they want to know the toxicity about when it's getting consumed. What are the toxic elements which is associated with the nano? Because as you know, when we convert the particle size into a nano range, the physical property of course varies. So they want to be very sure on the safety of this material. And then creating and using structures, devices, and systems that have novel properties because of their small size. And the third category, when you are implying nanotechnology, is ability to control or manipulating on the atomic scale. So mostly we will be dealing with the first two categories. And then this is a broad subtopic: nutraceutical developments in the future food science. So any bioactive component that deliver a health benefits or as a supplement is considered to be a nutraceutical product. For example, if you categorize the nutraceutical, you can categorize as nutrients, herbal and phytochemicals, dietary supplements. So in nutrients, it will come vitamins, minerals, amino acid, fatty acid, and whatnot. So almost all vitamins, because it's not completely regulated that you must have only this much. There are regulations, but you need not require a prescription to purchase a vitamins or minerals. So it is mainly to supplement your body, and also in a preventive care. So quite recently, the herbal and the phytochemicals, which is originally from plant origin, this is also going to be a very big supplement category. For example, curcumin, resveratrol, all these molecules. In the last COVID, we have seen the benefit of all these molecules. So this is also considered to be a food supplement or a nutraceutical. And the dietary supplement includes, but not limited to, probiotics, prebiotic, antioxidant, enzymes. We have been consuming several probiotics in the last 60, 70 years. And still that category is helping the humanity quite a lot. So when we develop, so since there is a lot of scientists are working in this area of nutraceutical to innovate and deliver established nutraceutical, there how do you make or from the concept to a reality? So you will search for a nutrition required for the health, and then pharmaceutical remedy for sickness or injury, and then comes to the nutraceutical, which is a preventive medical approach. Because in the Western countries, mostly they are so focused on the preventive care, because once you get any disease, it is very difficult to treat it, or the cost associated with the treatment is also very expensive. Yeah. And the nutraceutical market size, still we are in a premature phase in 2022 and 2023, but the projection is quite high, and it could be at par with the pharmaceutical industry. So innovation is key here, because those products which are highly bioavailable and bioefficient will sustain for a longer run, and the investments on the research and innovation is very high in this area. That's why nanotechnology is key in delivering these nutraceuticals. So what are we talking about in when we say nanotechnology in nutraceutical? What are we talking about? So we are actually adopting several nanoscale phenomena in the functional food formulation, manufacturing, and process. So many of the innovative concepts based on this nanotechnology being explored to improve the product functionality, bioavailability, delivery efficiency, and thereby bioefficacy. So for example, the areas like emulsion, dissipation, biocontinuous structural fluid, some of the source of knowledge what we are using in the in this industry. So I would like to take this thing, three delivery platform. One is type 1 is a nano particulate delivery systems. Type 2 is a nano emulsion, and the third one biopolymeric nanoparticle. So these three are the focus because this is extensively used and commercialized in the nutraceutical and food supplement industry. So as you know, this nutraceutical complex are unlike a pharmaceutical molecule, where pharmaceutical molecules are so pure, 99.999% purity. But when it comes to a natural product, leave the vitamins and minerals, which are of course pure, but when it is coming into other dietary supplements, these are highly complex in nature, which has limited solubility. Sometimes it would be polar and sometimes non-polar. So we actually manipulate its solubility and the absorption by the use of several crystalline phases. So, for example, by use of polymeric material, by the use of surfactants, lipids, and copolymers, which will improve its dispersion in aqueous solutions, which will also sometimes we need a more lipophilic nature. So it is to manipulate and thereby improving the delivery of these molecules, which includes, of course, micelles, hexagonal structure, lamellar structure, cubosomes, liposomes, and goes on. So one of the key delivery form is micelles. To give you an example of micellar structure, there are a lot of products, for example, curcumin, resveratrol, coenzyme Q10. All these are potentially very, very bioefficacious molecule, which has got a poor bioavailability. So that's a problem with this supplement market. Those molecules which are highly bioefficacious, if at all it get delivered into the blood. So most of the cases, the delivery into the blood is very, very poor. So we must use extra technology to get it delivered. So once it is getting delivered to the blood, it gives fantastic results in terms of its bioefficacy. So for that, we use micellar technology, which is actually converting the molecule into a micelle by using a surfactant. So most of the cases, non-ionic surfactants, some cases ionic surfactant. So which will, the concentrations which is exceeded the critical level known as critical micellar concentration creates this micelle. So the hydrophobic tail group of the surfactant interactions with the water are minimized, while the hydrophobic surfactant head groups interactions with the water are maximized. So because of this phenomena, the micellar integrity under given set of environment conditions like pH, temperature, and heavy salt concentration is often maintained for many years. So the stability of this formulation would improve for a very long time, because any formulation should give a shelf life of at least 24 to 36 months. So minimum is 24. And also the biological stability, because once it is ingested, the digestive tubes should not destroy the molecule as it is. It should go into the small intestine, and thereby absorption has to happen. So where are we using this? As I mentioned to you earlier, mostly it is using in compounds that are ordinarily not water soluble or sparingly water soluble, which includes curcumin, coenzyme Q10, resveratrol, then lutein, which is used for eye health. These are extensively delivered via micellar delivery systems. So then the originally those molecules which are not soluble in water would be the phenomenon is not actually technically soluble. It will be dispersed in the water so that the delivery is very good. So some of the molecule which I have not mentioned is limonene, lycopene. Lycopene is the molecule which is found in tomatoes, excellent antioxidant but very poor bioavailability. Lutein is found in marigold, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are traditionally used in the nutraceutical space. And then comes liposomes. So actually the liposome, when I present about liposomes, my organization is basically based on liposomes. We manufacture a variety of, collaborate with the Mahatma Gandhi University with Professor Sabu Thomas. I think the most commercial delivery form of liposome is happening at our organization. We export more than 5 to 6 metric tons of different liposomal delivery forms every month. So when I come, I've been working in liposome for past 8 years maybe. So before and all, when I speak about liposome, it was quite a strange topic and highly sophisticated delivery systems. But after the COVID, might be outside people or Western people may be knowing better, because those vaccines were not being delivered in India. The vaccines developed by Pfizer is completely a liposomal delivery form. It's an mRNA vaccine. It's completely a liposome delivery form. So liposomes are known in the pharmaceutical industry for from 1950 onwards. The first drug was the liposomal drug was developed for a chemotherapy drug, doxorubicin, and from then last 20 years it is also applied extensively in food and dietary supplement, especially the delivery of vitamins and minerals, and nowadays extensively in phytochemicals, which are also poorly bioavailable. So most of the thumb rule is that the liposome can easily take the drug to at least 6 to 7 fold of bioavailability. So what are liposomes? So these are a lipid vehicle composed of a lipid bilayer. As you can see in the diagram, there's a polar, this lipid layer is a bilayer structure which has got a polar head and a non-polar tail. So the active, which is water soluble, will go to the core, and the active, the molecule which are not water soluble, which are oil soluble, will go within this membrane. So this membrane is actually made of several structure. Mostly it's a choline derived structure, phosphatidyl choline or phosphatidyl serine. These are amino acid combined with a phosphatidyl group. The nature has got abundance of this polar lipids, mainly from egg yolk, sunflower, soy, and cholesterol also can make this bilayer. Right now in the food industry, there are two things: vegan polar lipids, which is from soy lecithin or from sunflower lecithin. So we say lecithin is an extract which is enriched with phosphatidyl choline. Lecithin is a common terminology. It is also available in egg yolk, but egg being not a vegan friendly molecule, generally for the food supplement and nutraceutical industry, this has been extracted from sunflower. It's got a completely a wide range of functional components and interior. In the micelle, as we explained, it can encapsulate majority non-polar, that is fat soluble molecule. But for lipids, for liposomes, it can also encapsulate as I mentioned to you, water soluble and oil soluble molecule at a different time, or it's the same time. Suppose I have a formulation which has got a water molecule, water soluble molecule and an oil soluble molecule. I can encapsulate it together. The water soluble molecule will go into the core of the liposome, and the oil soluble will go to the within the bilayer. So that's one of the advantage. And these are charged species, as you can see. In the coming slides, I can explain the zeta potential. So why is absorption is important? I just pictorially represent this. You consume a drug or consume a molecule which is going just an excrete without being absorbed into the body. So the third one, you can see a systemic absorption, which is going into the blood. Most of the drug molecule going into the blood and is systematically absorbed and distributed throughout the body, which makes this is extremely important for a food supplement category or nutraceutical, because the vitamins and minerals or phytoactives or phytochemicals has to go to the entire body, without which it will not have any benefit for the body. For example, the most classical example is curcumin. Curcumin has reported to have more than 5,000 publications in various indications. Let it be anti-inflammatory, let it be anti-rheumatoid symptoms, let it be cognitive. Everything is possible. But the problem is, it is possible only when it is getting absorbed to the blood. So the delivery technology is so important, so that the reported efficacy will work in human models only when there is a delivery mechanism in place. Otherwise, it would remain as a molecule in the in vitro or in vivo. It won't pass through the human nature. That's the reason mainly the curcumin is not coming into a blood drug category. So this is not bioavailable, this is poorly bioavailable, this is bioavailable. So why liposomes? So as a matter of fact, our body is also synthesizing liposomes. So most of the, we call this kilomicrons. So there are various ways to pronounce. So very fat soluble ingredients such as vitamin D3 or white coenzyme Q10 are absorbed via this endogenous liposomal pathway. So the body itself wraps this molecule with a fatty coating. So thereby the absorption is quite possible. So we design or those who have designed the liposomes in such a way, there is a phospholipid, which is a hydrophilic head, and there is a hydrophobic tail, and the nutrient, which is, if it is water soluble, in the core. So this is the cross image of a liposome graphically. So I'll explain. So, and what are the fate of this liposome when you are ingested? If the liposome is degraded in the acidic environment or by enzymatic activity, it's not a liposome, because the liposome should protect the active or the drug molecule for this drastic condition, like the acidic pH. For example, the gastric juice pH is around 3.5 to 4, which is extremely acidic. So when it is going into this gastric pH, the nutrient should be protected in the cavity. So the fate of the liposome is to reach the lymph. So that body fluid should take the stable liposome. Then only we can say precisely it's a stable liposomal structure. So what defines the fate of the liposome? How can we say the liposome is a liposome? In fact, we work very closely with the Nano Center, Mahatma Gandhi University, to analyze almost every batches to understand whether it is a liposome or not liposome. So in fact, now Mahatma Gandhi University become a benchmark for a liposome in the liposomal industry. I got a collaboration from Chile in Latin America, where we supply the liposome. There are a lot of fake liposome, because generally the liposomes are a little bit expensive. So the Chilean government is sending almost all samples to the Mahatma Gandhi University through us to analyze whether it is liposome or not. So that becomes a benchmark in the industry itself, whether we can classify it as a liposome or not. So we take several parameters. Out of that, key parameters are particle size and zeta potential, because a stable liposome will have certain required features. For example, DLS should give you a value between 150 to 400 nanometer in size. So that size itself, you need to have a stable one peak for the distribution diagram. You shouldn't have several peaks in between. So the average should be in that region. Otherwise, what will happen? The Ostwald ripening, because of Ostwald ripening, the particle will aggregate each other, and finally it will become a lumpy nature. So DLS is the most appropriate way, and mostly these are just the key. We also should examine the morphology, surface morphology, and also the shape by TEM images, because I will show you a classical TEM image of a liposome. So these are some of the particle size which we have measured: particle size in the 0th day and particles in the size in the 240th day. So by accelerated stability analysis. So as you can see, we don't have much deviation in its average particle size. So these are some of the TEM image. As you can see, this is classical. This is known as classical structure of liposome. You can see a dark core, because liposome's core, or the spherical nature of the liposome, is maintained by water. So when water is there inside the sphere will become a sphere. So just a second. So when there is a dark core, and you can see a distinct bilayer. If you clearly examine here, a dark core and a distinct periphery. This is the classical nature of a TEM image of a liposome. So, and zeta potential, as you all know, defines the electrostatic charge of the liposome. So whether it is positive or negative, it should be a double-digit number to confirm that it is a stable, or a proof for a successful and stable liposomal encapsulation. So these are some of the features. So this is also 0th day and 240th day. As you can see, there are no much difference, very insignificant difference in the zeta potential value. So and this is again on the fluctuating pH condition. The stability is assessed, and this is also clinically proven. There is also a published paper on liposomal curcumin. So you can see this is a liposomal. The blue one is a liposomal curcumin. The red one is the normal curcumin value. This has been done in actual human studies, which is already published. These are explanatory value. Again, this is on liposomal vitamin C. It's done in 24 human subject. Here also you can see the blue line is the liposomal one, and the red one is the non-liposomal one. The bioavailability and the retainability for longer duration is much improved. And this is again on the zeta potential value of some of the coenzyme Q10, ubiquinone, which is essential for the heart health, zeta potential and the particle size distribution. again. So we also did a technology to, so normally as of 2014-15, the liposomes in the supplement market is completely in the liquid form. The reason is, as I mentioned to you, the core is composed of water. Core is having water in nature. So there is no other way to make it in a powder. The moment you make it in a powder, the shell or the periphery will collapse. So you cannot maintain the structural integrity of the liposomes, especially in the supplement market. So we developed a technology to fill the nanofiber in the core so that it can hold. So now we have modified again. So we are actually filling the core with nanosphere with the polymers. So when you are removing the water, the inside the nanosphere will take up a self-emulsifying nature and hold this entire structure, the spherical structure. Otherwise, it will be difficult to make it powder. So after making the powder, again, we have done the zeta potential and particle size, which is also in the range. So this is, then we are converting this powder into several delivery form. For example, chewable tablet, a normal capsule, and whatnot. So the delivery, application delivery is vast when you are converting into a powder. When it is in a liquid, you can only make it as a syrup or a liquid drinkable version. So limitations are there if you are maintaining it as just a liquid. So image is not there for some cases. This is for powder and then capsule, and then we can make it into water soluble stick packs, gummies, chewable tablets, microbeads, and so many other applications. So so next slide I will go. So after liposome, nano emulsion. So emulsion is actually a well-known concept in the food industry, extensively used in liquid formulations, oil in water and water in oil. To separately immiscible liquid, we are making into dispersed with the form of a small droplets with the aid of a emulsifier. One step more, nano emulsion are small enough to scatter light in the visible region of the spectra. Thus, they appear very clear rather than really opaque. You would have seen oil put in the water and shade, it will become completely opaque in nature. It will become milky white. You cannot use into a clear liquid solutions, because then it will destroy the entire structural integrity of that liquid. So moreover, after some time it will tend to separate. So the oil will start aggregating each other and thereby separating these two layers quite fast. But when it is in the nano form, the visible light can pass through it, so it will become clear solutions. So it will not be like an opaque structure. So that is one area where stability is much improved, and we use that in several oil soluble active. These all are commercialized product. So then comes to a biopolymeric nanoparticles. So this we are using for many applications. For example, delayed delivery of actives, or sometimes we code this to deliver in large intestine rather than the small intestine. So there are some natural antimicrobial and antioxidant polymer obtained from crustacean shells. So and some of the synthetic polymers we use extensively PLA and PGA for especially for the delayed and consistent delivery of actives. So some cases very unique delivery systems we may require. At that time, that's one triple shield encapsulation technology. That means normally the active is encapsulated in using one layer of active. So but we may have to design some very special cases that active has to deliver in certain part of the body or some large intestine or some specific targeted organs. So at that time, we have to define the encapsulation medium, because simply one encapsulation which is opening up in the small intestine may not help. So we have to define the polymeric coating. So at that time, we say that it is a triple encapsulated technology. So this is also used in specific applications. So again, coming back to the original keynote, which is a research to commercialization, by whatever I said is a glimpse of what we are doing actually, already applied science, not that it's theoretical or intent to apply. It's already applied and people are consuming it. So by applying all this method, what are we achieving actually? Enhancement of bioavailability, which is a key, and then cost effectiveness, because without cost effectiveness, we cannot attain this to larger population. And then thereby economic growth, collaboration of research and industry, which is a classical example is our industry and Mahatma Gandhi University, especially with Professor Abu Thomas. So we could actually qualify several of these nutraceutical concept in a really very big market, and so thereby helping people, because people should get to know what is academic research and how it can twin together with industry oriented research, and thereby delivering the best product. So that's one key aspect of collaboration. So next, what is the future perspective? So we have already demonstrated, nanotechnology already demonstrated significant potential for improving the effectiveness and delivery, nutraceutical delivery. So again, it can enhance solubility, facilitate control release, improve bioavailability, and so on. But we still have a lot of problems, mainly in the flavor industry, development of new flavor delivery systems to improve the food quality and so on, functionality. We are intent to release a controlled release of natural flavors, which may eventually lead to an in situ flavor and color modification of the product. So which means that inside the food matrices, it can change the flavor. So those research are actually going on. So for example, if you consume a particular food items in the morning, you will have a different feeling of flavor, but eventually depends on the day, the flavor will change. And those research are actually going on based on the nanotechnological application. So that may be the future of this nanotechnology application in the food industry and also in the nutraceutical industry. So these are some of my references. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your very informative presentation. Now, I guess there will be some questions. I request the participants to ask the question.
Please.
Yeah, we have a question in the chat box.
Someone asked me about the bioavailability of lycopene, correct? So lycopene is also used in as a liposomes, also in nanoemulsion, because basically lycopene is also a fat soluble molecule. So this is a liposomes are a great tool for delivering lycopene.
So, Sriraj, I will ask a general question. Some people
Sir.
have some concern in using, nutraceuticals. They argue that nutraceuticals also can cause sometimes trouble, and the body itself has certain power of taking all the minerals, vitamins. If you regularly take nutraceuticals, some people argue that the body's self ability to absorb all these things will decrease. Can you comment on that?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's up to the quality of the nutraceutical product that we are taking. For example, if you are not in a quality-oriented supplement, what will happen? It will have heavy metals, microbiological contaminations that can cause a lot of damages. But if you are having a very good products with improved bioavailability and completely quality checked, it will not cause any problem. It actually can help a lot of things, because for example in US, you must be very well knowing this. People are so much worried about their dietary conditions, so they will actually consume a lot of very good nutraceutical or food supplements in their, daily routine. So that can actually give a lot of benefits.
Right. My next question is that how about the standards, specifications, quality checkup worldwide? Do you please comment on that?
Worldwide, it is highly regulated, especially the Western countries in US and Europe.
Right.
India is also getting more and more strict in FSSI. The quality check is key essential. Most of the countries are having robust quality assessment and quality check. Some countries are lacking it. Maybe they will improve over a period of time.
Thank you. Yeah.
There are no more questions. Shall we wind up? Sorry.
Some questions.
Yeah, one question. Yeah, one question.
Oh, external molecule adding externally and doping is important for increasing efficacy. So what I understand is what
will it cause a negative effect to kidney, or will it long-term use of nutraceutical, can it harm, give some toxic effect, or not exactly toxic, especially the kidney?
Yeah, see, I would emphasize dose is the poison here. Dose. So if you take too much of water also, it is toxic. Water consumption at a level higher than which is required is also toxic. So there is that is why all the regulations having their strict regulatory norms, how much you can consume in a day. Anything can cause this problem. For example, if you take if you search in PubMed about paracetamol toxicity, paracetamol induced liver toxicity is too high. So it doesn't mean it is bad. It is bad only if you consume overdose. So there is a regulation that vitamin C has to have only this much. So if you take more than 20 grams a day of vitamin C, it is reported to affect your kidney for sure in a pure condition. So it depends on dose.
Does the dose depend on the age or other I mean, for each individual, it can be different. So how can we, like, this is based on habit?
Yeah, see, it is not about age, it is about your body weight, most of the cases, because we say dose per kilo of body weight. So you must look into that. Uh, you mean to say important uh, molecule which has efficacy but not bioavailable. So I mentioned it in the presentation. For example, curcumin is one of the biggest molecule. Lutein, which is very well used for eye health. Resveratrol, CoQ10, coenzyme Q10. These are some of the and vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 and vitamin K2, menaquinone 7. These are important, very, very important molecule, but not having much bioavailability. Mangiferin is using, I don't know whether it is from curcuma amada. It is also from mangiferin. Yeah, I forgot. But mangiferin is also nowadays using, but it has also very poor bioavailability. There are some technological improvement for its bioavailability. It's extensively used in mitochondrial energy for mangiferin. Multiple uses. Curcumin is having multiple uses. And there is a molecule from black pepper, which is actually a terpene molecule. It's known as beta caryophyllene. It's a diterpenoid molecule, which has got a couple of uses. One is analgesic. Immediately you can get the pain reduction, and thereby, and also it has a different indication, which is stress reliever. So that we have, but very poor bioavailability, which we could improve it. Any more questions? Which polymer? Cellulose, no doubt. It's plant derived. Cellulose is extensively used in many things. It's as a bulking agent, coating material, especially microcrystalline cellulose. It's extensively used in medicinal industry, or medicine, and also nutraceutical industry. cancer medicine. I think we are talking about supplements, not for medicines. So actually, cancer medicine is a different domain. It's not coming under this category. This is not for treating. This is for preventive care. Asking about the polymers in cancer treatment. Okay, I'm not sure about which polymer you are using in cancer treatment. We are also working in quantum dots actually in cancer treatments, especially bioimaging. Thank you.
So I think there are no more questions from the audience.
Thank you. Then
Let's give a big clap to Siraj. Thank you, Siraj.
thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Siraj. Yeah. Very
Thank you
good.
very much.
Thank you.
So with that, we come to the end of last lecture of GIAN course, the GIAN 5-day course. We had a lot of lectures during the 5 days. We had courses, lectures on natural polymers, cellulose and derivatives. Then we had starch and derivatives. Then we had extracellular polysaccharides, marine-based polymers, blue biotechnology, bioinspired materials, and we had a lecture on nutraceutical applications. I would like to thank the speakers, Professor Susanna, for her very wonderful lecture. She had taken a lot of effort to prepare the presentations and take a lecture. She was very patient in answering all the questions, and I thank Professor Susanna for a wonderful lecture. And also, I would like to thank Professor Sabu Thomas. He also did a very deep, insightful talk on cellulose, circular and economy of cellulose materials. Then we had an expert lecture by Dr. Siraj on nutraceutical applications. So, and also I would like to thank all the participants who were very cooperative and a lot of questions and discussions were on way throughout the lecture series. I would like to thank everyone on behalf of Professor Sabu Thomas, and I request Professor Sabu Thomas to talk a few words
So thank you so much, Hari. And I'm extremely delighted, because Susanna and Sriraj, they actually contributed to the success of this GIAN lecture. I remember we applied for a series of GIAN lecture. I think this is the first lecture we got the sanction. It took a long time. Probably Susanna knows that. We applied for it, then we revised it. Because the COVID issue, it delayed a lot. And this is actually, to get the benefit of international experts on a thematic area. So I'm glad that Susanna selected a very exciting topic. Marine polymers, natural polymers, starch, they're quite important because the world is moving towards green materials. So she suggested a fantastic topic. And Sriraj too also suggested is getting a lot of momentum worldwide. We submitted this to the government of India. They asked for some revision. We revised it. and finally we got sanctioned. It took a lot of time, to get the funding from the government of India. So I'm glad that more than 70 students registered for it. Many of them could interact with the speakers. I'm sure they will learn a lot. And some of them must be contacting Dr. Susanna and Siraj for further interactions. And I'm looking forward to have continued support of this program. Now we are going to apply again for the GIAN program. GIAN program is a very fantastic program started by Government of India for a huge network. Then academics to interact with the Indian students and faculty. So let's give a big thank you to Susanna and Siraj for taking the time. And I'm looking forward to have Susanna in the campus probably.
Yeah, me too.
2024. Thank you, Susanna, for all the support. And many
Thank
people
you.
commented that your lecture was very simple, very easy to follow. And I could see all the comments done by people. Thanks a lot. And
Thank you.
Sriraj is my collaborator. He's giving us a lot of support for us. And he used to visit us, giving us a lot of tremendous support, financial support, as well as support for our students. And he has a huge international network. Let's give a big clap to Sriraj. Thank you so much. And Hari has taken, Susanna, Hari has taken a brilliant step. He has been recently recruited as a young faculty member. And he has given me a lot of support to frame this, to interact with you and organize it. So let's give a big clap to Hari. Hari, thank you so much for your support. And Susanna, Hari and I apply for a large number of schemes. Now we are actually writing a proposal for India, Singapore. We are working on a program on India, US. So Hari is a dynamic person and giving me a lot of support to take our center the forward direction. Thank you, Hari, for interacting.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Susanna, it's a Saturday for Susanna. Should have been with your family. Thank you so much, Susanna. Thank you.
So
Have
we
a
can take a
wonderful,
photo together.
Yeah,
We
sure.
can take a-
Let's have a photograph.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also
Thank
can
you
join
too.
us. Yeah. Yes. Anna is also
Yes.
I request all to switch on your camera. This is the last photo.
Yes.
Please, everyone, switch on their cameras.
Yeah. I request everyone to put on your camera. Let's have a photograph. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
And thank
the examination is planned on 25th.
Yeah.
25th of the Wednesday. Yeah. Coming
I
Wednesday.
thank all the participants. They have eagerly attended the meeting, and all the participants should interact with the Susanna and Sriraj. Further interactions, further cooperation. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend. Bye-bye.
Same to
Thank you,
you.
Professor. Thank
See
you.
you
Thank you,
soon.
Dr. Siraj.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
എല്ലാം നന്നായിട്ട് പോയല്ലോ കേട്ടോ.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
വെരി ഗുഡ്. നമുക്ക് അടുത്ത ഗ്യാൻ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യണം, നോക്കണേ.
Yeah. അടുത്ത അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാം, സാർ.
Apply for the next GIAN.
ഒരു പ്രൊഫസറിന് രണ്ട് കോഴ്സ് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും.
നമുക്ക് രണ്ടെണ്ണം കൊടുക്കാം.
രണ്ടെണ്ണം
നമുക്ക് we can incorporate good people